slides.
Check, check.
Good.
Is that good? You hear me?
Try it again.
Hello, 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 hello. I don't hear it in the room.
Huh?
Can you hear it in the room? Yeah, I gotta like swallow it.
Test. Robert, I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, just a minute.
So before we get started, before we call roll and everything, y'all need to go ahead and turn your microphones on. That needs to be the norm to have them on. And then if you need to have a private conversation, you turn them off. What happened last time when we were calling roll and taking a vote, those of you that didn't have your microphones on didn't record. So it was not an issue last time because it was just a motion to adjourn. But if we were taking a vote on something and your vote didn't get recorded on the video, that could be a problem. So yours is not on, Robert. The way you tell if it's on, there you go, that red light will be on your microphone. But let's just leave them on. And then if you need to take a moment, you can turn it off. Does anybody know where Doug Fritz is? Haven't seen him in a month. He is absent. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get started. I'd like to officially call to order the Madison County Planning Commission business session for June the 17th, 2025 to order and ask for a roll call.
Mary Eipert.
Here.
Doug Fritz. Shannon Pennington.
Here.
Shannon Renfro.
Here.
Brian Adams.
Here.
Bill Buchanan.
Here.
Robert Farmer.
Here, let the record show we do have a quorum, and the first order of business is the approval of the minutes for May the 20th, 2025. Excuse me. Everyone should got a copy of the minutes in their packet. Is there any corrections or additions to the minutes as received? If not, we'll have a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Have a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll have a vote.
Shannon Renfro.
Yes.
Brian Adams.
Yes.
Bill Buchanan.
Yes.
Shannon Pennington.
Yes.
Mary Eipert.
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes. Next order of business is preliminary subdivision plat for Eagles Watch. Bert, you want to bring us up to speed from the work session?
Yeah, we had a few items from the work session. We still have a few items that we probably need to talk about. If you want to come up and introduce yourself and tell us who you're with, and then we'll kind of go over this list a little bit.
My name is Douglas Gooch with AGE Engineering Services. We're the project engineer on this project.
Yeah.
So still missing a couple signature lines. We need a signature line for the road department supervisor. You'll have to sign off on it.
Okay.
And then we need a signature line for the planning commission chairman. He'll have to sign off on it. He'll actually be the last one to sign after you get everybody else's signature.
Okay.
The road cross section is still a little wonky. We talked about it, and we still need to make a couple of adjustments to it. So we're still showing a 1.5 foot curb on each side. It needs to be a 2 foot curb on each side. And then a 9 foot grass section, and then the 4 foot sidewalk. So the road department wants the back of the sidewalk to be the property line.
Okay. I'm not sure what he shows. We typically do a 24-inch, what's called a 24-inch curb and gutter. It's 24 inches from the back of curb to the face of the gutter line, and that way the boxes fit in the gutter and don't stick out in the pavement.
That's right. That's exactly what it needs to be, but it's showing a 1.5 feet here.
Okay.
And there's actually a curb detail, which was my next note, in the regs that you can take and just impose that on your plan here that shows that 2 foot gutter.
That's typically what we always do anyway. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what.
And then let's make that, like I said, make the grass strip 9 feet, and then your 4 feet sidewalk. That puts your property line there at the back of the sidewalk.
Okay.
Entrance sign and lighting, I still don't see any kind of notice or notation that there'll be a light. I don't care if you put a sign or not. Most people want a sign, and if you need to have a little easement for that, outside that lot, that's fine, but we do need to show at least a light there at the entrance. I don't know if the developers or the owners plan on putting street lights throughout the subdivision. That's not required, but if he does, at least one of those lights needs to be at the entrance. And we just need a note on there to show that. And then your note, we added a note here for the drainage and detention area responsibility, and he's cleaned that up for the most part, but there needs to be language in there that the road department will have access to those areas as well in case the HOA or the developer doesn't maintain them the way they're supposed to be. It gives them the authority to go into those areas and maintain your detention ponds and your, whatever, your green spaces and that kind of thing.
Some kind of note on the plat or?
You can just add, so right here underneath the roadway typical section, there's a note that says drainage and grass area responsibility. If you just want to add a line to the end of that says road department will also, Madison County Road Department will also have access to these areas if needed.
Okay.
Okay? And that's all the notes I had, Robert.
What about the transmission gas line? Did we discuss that they were going to talk to them and see about some of those lots?
I can answer that. We actually got an email from them today, and he's got it, and he's getting under review. He sent it to his engineering staff. He sent us a couple of PDF forms to fill out, and so they have it, and they're looking at it. We tried as closely as we could to cross it at a 90, and we'll make sure we got 5 foot of cover, no more than 9, no less than 5. But they are aware of it, and they're working on any kind of issues they would have with it right now. The only place we actually cross it or actually get on the easement with work is on phase 1, the main road in. We kept that secondary road off the easement. There might be a little bit of fill on it, but very little. But we kept it off the easement on purpose.
And they've also added a signature line for the gas company at the bottom down there.
Okay. Does any of the commission members have any questions or concerns?
I see on the key that we've got the proposed mailbox, but I'm just not seeing it. Where is the mailbox?
They're hard to see, Mary. They're little green dots about every 8 lots, looks like, on the side of the road. They're a small green dot. I had a little trouble finding them too, but they're on there.
Okay.
Right by the black line, or the black road line.
The edge of pavement
Oh, I
line there.
see one right there.
Yeah.
L-125.
Okay.
It's kind of
Yeah, they're little.
hard to identify them.
Okay.
This turned out to be a pretty good size scale, so it's kind of hard to identify them on that.
Okay.
I
So
had a
how many
question.
are there, just for my, since I can't see all of them?
I think there's one for every 16. Is that right?
What? One for every 8 houses?
Yeah,
Okay,
eight houses.
thank you.
On the future development, I wasn't here last meeting, sorry for that, but is that part of this effort? Is this part-
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. That's why they've labeled it as potential future development. I think maybe they are maybe going to try to do something commercial out there if possible, but it would require a zone change, and they understand that's down the line. That's not part of this plat.
But that piece right there is.
That's right,
red.
right there on the road.
We've got to do quite a bit of work on that area. One, for sight distance, we have to lay some of it back for sight distance. That's all in works with the DOT right now. And then we need a lot of material to have the entrance not drop down in the hole and come back out. We were forced to put the entrance square across from the other road that turns off of Boonesboro Road there. So the entrance was defined, and it's over a pretty good fill area. So we need the material anyway. So we're going to end up with a pretty nice lot there. At sight distance and the material we need to build the road, so it just kind of made sense to take that hump down.
That's something we talked about too, Bucky, at the work session, was that there's a hump there when you get past Boonesboro and in that curve, most of that's going to be taken out. That's what he's talking about there.
Kind of high on the right side and
It
low
is.
on the left.
Yep.
So
Yes.
kind of level it all out.
Yeah, we got to take that out. We didn't have sight distance. We had to take a lot of it out, but we also need the rest of it for the feel in that road, so it's going to work out well.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? So, Bert, motion B to approve this would be contingent, the signatures is basically what you need.
Yeah, signatures, cleaning up that road cross-section, the entrance lighting, and the detention note. And I can help whoever wants to make that motion with that when we get to that point.
Okay. There's no other questions or comments. Bert, you don't have anything else?
No, that's all I had.
I'll open the floor for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the preliminary subdivision plat for Eagles Watch based upon getting all the signature lines, the entrance lighting, and the road detail cleaned up, and what else?
And the note on the detention areas.
And the note on the detention area for access.
Okay, we have a motion approved with those conditions. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll have a vote.
Shannon Renfro,
Yes.
Brian Adams.
Yes.
Bill Buchanan,
Yes.
Mary Eipert,
Yes.
Shannon Pennington,
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll give you a copy of these notes, just so you've got it, and then when you get that squared away, if you want to email it to me, let me look at it before you take it around and get everybody's signature. I'm happy to do that. And then once you get the signatures, like I said, you can bring it to me, and Robert will be the last one to sign it. Okay? Thank y'all.
Okay, all right. Bert, do you have any new business coming before the commission?
That's all I got.
Okay, if not, then, motion be in order to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
We'll have a vote.
Do we have a motion?
Vote for adjournment.
Mary Eipert,
Yes.
Shannon Pennington,
Yes.
Bill Buchanan,
Yes.
Brian Adams.
Yes.
Shannon Renfro,
Yes.
Robert Farmer.
Yes.
Thank y'all. Turn off your mics.